What's up, Dar'Ron Harmon? Thank you for coming here.
Appreciate it, bro.
This is the Dattie podcast. Today is November 28th, 2023, and we are here with Dar'Ron Harmon, comic book author, veteran, and paramedic.
I appreciate that, man. That's a lot. I realize it is.
It is. I mean, man, you've been killing it. So, before we go into the comic book, I've known you for a long time. We went to high school. You're younger than me, I think. What are you, 06 or 07?
Yeah, 06.
06. And I went to school with your brother.
Yeah.
Who was my age, Andre.
Yes.
And also, you lived in a neighborhood down the street from where I lived for a while. So, yeah.
Small circle.
Yeah, and but you've been dominating. You wrote a comic book. It's called Medic Grizz, but you're not the typical, to me, comic book nerd because you're an athlete. You're a veteran. I mean, you played football. I think you ran track. What else did you do in high school?
Track was the main thing. All state in track and won a state championship there. I didn't play football or arena football until I got back from the military.
Oh.
I never even tried out because we couldn't afford it. So
Okay.
my parents were like, what could you do that didn't cost money?
Yeah,
So
it is expensive.
Coach Duncan lived across the street from me.
I know. Oh, he remembers me.
Yes.
Shout out to Coach Duncan.
Yes.
Shout out to Dunk.
That's how that all started.
Bang.
But that's how it started. Then I did that. And then the comic book thing kind of started when I went to the military.
Okay.
So I went to the military and I always loved comics when I grew up. I was always fascinated with short stories. Mm-hmm. But when you're in the military, I used to work at the Port Mortuary in Delaware Air Force Base. Okay. So you see a lot of things down there that you have to separate your mind from. They have a lot of good people down there, a really good team. But it was how do I separate myself and stay sane in a sense? So comic books was my thing.
Were you down in Dover?
Yep.
You were, yeah. And how long were you in total active?
Oh, so technically it's reserve, but you go in active status as well. So off and on, I got 9.5 years, 10 years. Yeah.
Good for you, man. Good for you. And they paid for all your schooling?
Yeah, right now they're paying for it. I'm in nursing school right now. So
you're in nursing school right now. But I mean, you went to a ton of schooling while you were still in the Air Force, right?
And that's the coolest thing about Newcastle County. They have a paramedic program. They will pay you to go to school. Anybody who wants to be
non-military?
Non-military. If you want
to be a paramedic.
Yes.
I guess that's a good incentive because we need paramedics.
Yes, we do.
That looks like a hard fucking job, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not signing up for it.
It's one of those things where I was in the verge I knew what was gonna be next. So I was getting hurt. I had major knee surgery, microfracture knee surgery in the military, and I didn't know what the next plan was gonna be. I actually went for a police interview. Had no intention of being a paramedic at all. I drove up here. It was a paramedic interview. They had free food. I stayed for the application now, and then they kept calling me back, and then that's how that whole thing took off.
Wow. So you were actually more so leaning towards being a cop.
Yeah, because you're in the military, first thing you do is all right, how am I going to pay for bills? I'm going to be married. So military cop, it makes sense.
Yeah, easier.
No idea what a paramedic was. Nothing.
And you weren't a medic or anything when you were in the Air Force?
No.
What was your job in the Air Force?
Services. So services is it contribute to, you can do hotel management, you can do food, you can do gym, you can do mortuary. So Dover Air Force Base, I wanted a job that was the quickest job to get back home. My mother was sick. Yeah. So I went down there. I fell in love with the mortuary, the team there, and that pretty much was there my whole career. And then you basically take care of all the fallen soldiers to come back home. So that's pretty much where I was the bulk of my time.
I don't think you really hear people falling in love with the mortuary too much.
It's more the team and it's everything else there. You have you have your squad there. You transfer people from all over, from Travis Air Force Base in California. You meet a lot of good people.
And don't all fallen soldiers, airmen, everybody come through Dover Air Force Base? Is that real?
Yes.
Is that a rumor?
Yeah, that's real.
I knew Trump and Biden, Obama would make pit stops there often.
That's real.
Were you ever there when they came to the base?
I was there when Obama was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they shut everything down? How's that go?
We really can't talk about much of it, but yeah, everything is it's...
No one's moved.
No one's going anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was a great time. Sergeant Davis was amazing. He's a real good mentor of mine. So I was in my time period.
Okay.
Good guy.
And so after you get out of the military, you thinking about being a cop, and then you end up having the interview with, I guess the paramedic. Is that the state paramedic? Is that Christiana Care?
Newcastle County. So right there's the same building as the Police Gopher Academy. I literally sat there. It was this NASCAR weekend. I don't feel like driving back to Dover. Mm-hmm. So I stayed up there and I learned more about everything. And I was this is pretty cool. I want to help people. Then you have the academy class. You go and do that. And we went to Westchester for that. It's called a Good Fellowship Program. Uh-huh. And then came back down here and you do everything else here.
Wow. And how long did that take? And first, just walk me through the process of. So you are a paramedic as we speak.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing?
Oh my goodness, time is flying. I've been paramedic now for 8 years.
8 years.
Yeah, 7, 8 years. Yeah.
Driving the trucks and everything.
Yeah. So now
pulling up on scenes.
Yeah. So there's different.
Pulling dead bodies out, broken legs, all that crazy shit.
You try to take care of most of your patients. You try to keep alive. You try to make sure they're good. But starts off in Newcastle County. Sergeant Tuxworth, shout out to you. Well, Lieutenant, everything. She's amazing. So
Lieutenant who?
Tuxworth.
Lieutenant Tuxworth.
Yeah, she's amazing. So she was a hound on me to keep on going in class. So you start off with nothing. I didn't know anything. They want a mixture of people. Some people were EMTs before. Some people that were nothing as far as medicine. And they made us all in a group of 16 people. And we all had to figure out how to get well together and also accomplish this goal. So I was one of the military heads there. And it just took off and I fell in love with it.
Do you sleep there?
There you could have, but I didn't. I transferred back and forth.
What's the difference between an EMT and a paramedic?
So the difference basically is say if you broke your ankle or you needed something as far as basic life support, that's EMT. You can get EMT within 6 months if you want to a year at a fire school or something like that. But being a paramedic is CPR, I administer drugs, I do CPAP. If you had a heart attack, you call me. You're not calling an EMT.
Okay. And would you do what's that called? Tracheotomy when they put the thing?
You can learn everything. You do all that stuff. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing. But you will learn basically it's sick versus not sick. If you see a patient come on scene, you got to be able to process what's going on, be able to react to the rest of the protocol, and be able to get the ball moving. And whatever medications you want to administer, whatever care you want to give, you got to be able to take over the lead and see what's going on.
So you had to learn all that, right?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't know the first thing of what to give him. I don't know. Give him morphine. He's hurt. I don't know.
It depends where it's at. So, but you learn all that. The academy's freaking awesome. It just was amazing. And then
how long was the academy?
I did it was total of 2 years. You do basically schooling for almost a year, and then you do on the job training. Depends on your skill set and how good you are. I'm more of a tactile learner, so I was in school, but a little longer. But then when I come out here in the field, I crushed it. So it's based on who you are.
Okay. And during the schooling, is this Monday through Friday, or is it class by class? How does that work?
Monday through Friday, boot camp academy style. You're up there, you all have the blue dickies on. It's we still have jokes about it, nightmares about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And people are getting paid to do this, right?
Yes, absolutely. Anybody that's you are confused or you don't really know what you want to do next, look at Newcastle County. They have benefits, they have everything there. You can start off, and then right now I work in Lifeline Medical and PA, and I work with veterans now. So I do not 911 anymore, but I would not be able to do what I'm doing now unless I had that training before.
Wow. And so people who are listening to this who are thinking, hey, man, maybe I want to be a paramedic. I have interest in that. Do they have to have a background in medicine?
No, you can apply for the academy. They'll take everyone. On top of that, you can go to a fire school and learn first CPR, hands-on CPR. You can do EMT. You can do whatever you want to do. The academy will take you if you qualify and then keep on pushing you and learn. They want new people. They want everyone.
Wow. And what are the basic requirements for that? I guess you probably got to be 21.
The rules have probably changed. I'm an old head now, so when I first did it, I think it was maybe it was 23. I don't know, maybe 23 at the time. But it's probably different by now because we need paramedics bad. Because
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, we really do. Just look it up. NewcastleCounty.com. Just look and see what it is.
NewcastleCounty.com. Check it out. Become a paramedic. Save lives.
Yes.
So when you say you're a Newcastle County paramedic, does that mean they contract to Christiana Care, Wilmington Hospital? How does that work?
So it's kind of
is it like a cop?
It is in a sense, but Newcastle County kind of runs all ship over here in Newcastle County. So there's Kent medics, there's Sussex medics, but in Newcastle County area, we all have the same uniform, we all have the same protocols, and we all do our own thing. Now there is St. Francis Hospital has their own paramedics that they come out and do stuff, but if you call 911, Newcastle County paramedics coming out. But if you have an EMT call, there's a bunch of different fire schools and different fire departments that'll show up.
Okay.
But for paramedic wise, it's Newcastle County.
So is there one central location for?
Yeah, right off. Oh my God, what's the address? We're on 13. You're passing
Troop 2. Or is it more up north?
Up north, like you're going towards Wilmington. It's the glass building on your left.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a police station too, right?
Right there.
Huge.
Yes, everything's right there.
Right by DMV.
Yeah, you go on there, you can go for like ask questions, you can go online, applications. I think Laura Hill right now is still in the academy. She's an amazing person as well too. But it's been a while since I've been there, but it's a great time.
Good. Thanks for bringing that up. I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully some people see this who are wondering what to do. And, we need paramedics. People need to be saved. And you're getting paid to do it. So you're saying there's no tuition associated. You're actually, you apply and then they actually pay you to become a paramedic.
Yes, and your job is to show up, like I said, it's a boot camp style. So, of course, you got to work out, do runs, stuff like that. They want to see how you respond under stress. That's their whole game. The whole game plan is to break you to see how you're going to do. Because you're in the field, if I have 2 patients in front of me, I can't crack. I got to be able to looking at me for help. That's why they called me. So they put you in some tough situations, but they have a great team that's going to basically build you up. They're not going to clear you until you're ready. And you don't have to know anything, but when you're done, you'll know a lot.
What's the, can I ask you disclose what you want, but what's one of the craziest things you've seen on, when you pull up?
During my 911 days, I think the craziest thing was working in Wilmington. The craziest thing was more of like people really don't help each other. That's like the craziest thing I've probably seen. Like
meaning like they're injured and they're just sitting.
People
there.
Just watch. Like it's crazy how like society is and the world is now. Like if you go there, like you think naturally you're going to help somebody, right? People just stand there, and it's just crazy to know like, yo, you can help somebody. It's okay. Like that person needs help. They'll just stand there.
Why? What do you think the fear is? Why don't they help them? Is it because they're just like a mean person? They don't have empathy? Is it because they're afraid of retaliation if it was like a fight or something like that?
I never want to tell someone that they don't have empathy because you never know what their real story is. But I will say there is like a fear of lack of knowledge. Like I wish schools would require you to learn like EMT status come out of high school. I really wish that was like a requirement, because if you were more confident in doing like, mom has diabetes, how do I handle insulin? Or if like, high pressure, I'm high blood pressure, certain medications. Like if you knew the basics of CPR or stuff like that, or stroke assessment, you probably have more confidence and want to help. But if you have no idea what's going on, majority of the time you're looking like, what do I do? What do I do? Like a deer in headlights type thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm like really hoping that they change that up. I
agree with you. That's a good point. I mean, I think that's definitely should be in there along with learning taxes. Why don't they teach people taxes? You know what I mean? Why don't you teach people taxes? But I think basic, what would they call that? Not basic CPR, but...
just healthcare period. Like it should be a requirement in class. Like I'm a CPR trainer instructor as well. Like we're trying to pass on the CPR. Everybody know you can contact me if you want CPR. I will come to your house. I will train you. We want everyone to know, because a person who may actually need it may be the only person who knows it, and that's not good.
Let me ask you something, since you're knowledgeable. We both have young kids. I know that your son's going to be 1, right?
Yeah.
I have a newborn baby. She's about 7 weeks old. My son will be 3. What's the best thing to do if a small child is choking on food or swallow something?
Shout out to Willie Doan. We were in academy class. Face down, butt up. I can't say that word they use. That's how you clear a baby's airway. So you actually have the hand in the chest. You want to control the neck airway. You bring them on top of there, and you're actually giving back thrusts. You can get 5 back thrusts. So you want your kid's chest would be on your palm? Yep, and you're facing them down, like gravity as a part of that. You support the neck, and you're giving 5 back thrusts. Your objective is you're trying to actually, like some pat in the back type thing, you're trying to actually force the actual object to come out. Okay. You never want to, if you turn around and you see the object and like, hey, I maybe can pull it out, cool. But if you definitely don't see it, you never want to do a blind finger sweep, because what you can do is actually pull the object back into the actual esophagus. You don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So back thrusts, and then on top of that, if you're not seeing a blue cyanosis type vibe, you can also do a couple thrusts in the front, but you want to do back thrusts. Okay. I'm glad you said that, because you see all the, you get the, what's the thing that put over the nose like this, and then they suction it out. What's that called? Yeah, oh my goodness, we have... I can't think of the company name, but everybody should get one. There's a little vacuum. Are they free? No, they're not free. They should be free. Yeah. I got mine from Amazon. Wife knows the name of it, but it's in my backpack now. So it's actually a face mask, and it's a suction. You actually put it on there, and you actually pop it out. Mm-hmm. Everybody should have that. Like, you should have that with you at all times. Because you don't understand, like, there's things that kids they like to explore. They like to taste.
Oh, my son eats all kinds of shit.
Yeah, so there's things and there's equipment that I feel that everyone should have mandatory. You can look up Newcastle County, and they also do training classes there too. I'm not sure who's ahead of it right now, but you can call the county and say, hey, I want to learn how to do this, or I want to do car seats, stuff like that. They provide all those services you need, or it will guide you to the right place to get that.
That's cool. That's really cool. Hopefully when I'm never in that situation, you're going to be in this situation a lot just because you're helping people. But hopefully most people, you never have to use it. You just have it.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
What's another thing I want to continue?
Let's go.
Because, I mean, the paramedic thing is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I mean, that's a tough job. I mean, I'm sure you've seen countless, obviously, deceased individuals. Have you ever pulled up on a scene and seen a bone sticking out?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It depends on where the bone is. So you actually have to like stabilize the bone and stuff like that. So like, I don't want to get too gruesome with it, but let's say if it's like someone's ankles popped out, you want to make sure that it's stabilized and they clean the actual wound. So above and below the wound, you want to make sure it's bandaged so that you have, just for pulses, you want to see if you have pulses or not pulses. Those are all important things you want to get the doctor for potential surgery and stuff like that. Is a person alert, not alert? You also want to make sure that there is nothing that's actually seeping out. So if it's blood, you want to make sure you package it to make sure that no blood's coming out and nothing actually gets inside of it. So you just basically like typical first aid care.
Okay.
Yeah. And
when you say package it, what does that mean?
So package it mean like to the point that when you go into the actual stretcher, nothing else is like far as protections. Like it might have, we have devices. How do I explain it for people? Picture like a pillow or like something that's like blocking it so nothing actually causes more damage. And you strap it down. So when you're packaging up the actual patient plus the actual injury, load to the actual stretcher, when you move to the other bed to the hospital, no further damage.
Like a splint?
Yeah, there's plenty of them you can do. So there's different ones and stuff like that.
Okay. That's good stuff. Have you ever been on scene? questions. I gotta keep. Have you ever been on scene and say? We all know there's a lot of gun violence in Wilmington, right? Unfortunately. Yeah. Have you ever been on scene where someone was either shot, stabbed, something crazy like that, and then it's kind of almost continuing, or the person circles back, maybe it's an hour later and they're checking up and you're still there and you're like, what the fuck?
Not necessarily, because shout out to Newcastle County Police and Wilmington Police. They do a phenomenal job making sure the scene's actually clear.
So that's their job?
They are incredible. I know we have a lot of things, but like far as the team and the emergency services, we're a family, we're a unit. So everyone makes sure everyone's good. I can't take care of a patient if the scene's not safe.
Yeah, and that's what
so
I'm
yeah,
like, how the hell do you do
scene's safe now. There's some circumstance that happen where, hey, you might have missed this or that, or a situation needs to be like de-escalating first talking. I'm a person where sometimes the best medicine is just communication. You might walk in there and like tempers are really high, but if you can just talk to people and like express to them that, hey, I'm here to help. I'm not here to cause any problems, and just want to make sure I get to you wherever you need to go, and then get out your hair. It de-escalates majority of situations.
Has anybody ever attacked you?
Nah.
No. I tried to punch you? No. Okay. That's good.
When I was 911, we had a solid team. Right now, I got a really good team. I have a really good team.
And so you said you're now in Pennsylvania doing?
Yeah, so I primarily work at the VA hospital and I'm PA. So I take care of like a lot of patients that have like dialysis needs and veterans who can't make it to the hospital with their appointments. So I'm kind of like on the back end of my career right now because I'm also needing an environment for me to keep going to school. So it's my boss up there is great. She knows I'm going to school to be a nurse. So I got a more chilled environment now.
Oh, that's good.
I wear polos now.
So how much school do you got left for becoming a nurse?
Year and a half and I'm done.
I'm fascinated by people who, shout out to all the nurses out there. Shout out to, because that's a hard fucking job. They work their asses off. But here's my next question. I mean, you already do a tough job. Mm-hmm. You're going to go, I wouldn't say it's a more tough job, but equally as challenging, if not, but you're also stuck in the same, floor. Okay. You know, because you can drive around the truck, you have a little more freedom, if that's what you want to call it. All the nurses I know, don't take this the wrong way, nurses.
Oh, no, don't do that.
They are, they like their job, but a lot of them seem very frustrated by being a nurse.
And a lot of them are frustrated probably because of combination of their passion versus the rules and regulations of the particular system they're in. I would say that. Okay. So they probably want to do more, but they're insurance sometimes it causes issues for that particular field.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this because I know for long-term wise. So paramedic it's a young man's job. It is. You do a lot of up and down, sometimes carrying people up and down steps, stuff like that. It's a very young man job. Nursing opens the door, plus being a paramedic, plus being a veteran, there's other opportunities I can use that maybe I'm behind a desk. Maybe I'm doing stuff like that. And that's my end game, because now having a kid, I'm looking like, I want to be around. I want to be able to do stuff and be around and be able to walk. So
you start thinking about that stuff when you have a kid. All these crazy thoughts go through your head.
Yeah, so just having more on my plate, as far as like paperwork wise, it gives me a better opportunity that when I decide to say, hey, I'm done being a paramedic, I got somewhere to walk through.
That's awesome. Good. I hope you make it through. Yeah. I know it's challenging. Now, because you have the paramedic, does that count towards your those hours you have to do after school's all done?
Yeah, so I'm doing a bridge program right now at Del Tech. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Shout out to Del Tech's a great school.
Yeah, it really is. So right now I'm in the early phases of trying to make sure all my core classes are taken care of.
Okay.
And then next is I get bumped up to, I guess, the nursing program based off of your being a paramedic. Because there's a paramedics and there's national paramedics and everything else. And the county gets you prepared for all that. Mm-hmm. And then, So
you also make a lot of money as a nurse.
You okay?
I know.
You can make a lot being a paramedic too. Like, don't sleep on it. There's working in Pennsylvania, I am seeing the market. It's there. You trust me, y'all. If y'all don't have any idea, if you don't go to college, if you don't care for a trade and you want to just learn something, call Newcastle County, be a paramedic. You can go anywhere.
Which is an education and is a trade.
And you can go
very useful.
You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
I don't think anyone's going to turn you down. Especially if you're experienced and it's like, no, we actually don't need any more people to help injured individuals.
Yeah, and the systems there are some systems that will pay you even more than even nurses just because they need you.
It looks like a rough life, man. It really does look like a tough job. Shout out to all the nurses, paramedics out there busting their ass day in, day out, doing the dirty jobs, doing shit nobody wants to do, dealing with crazy stuff and people, and just seriously, it looks brutal, man. It looks brutal. Day in and day out. How many hours are you putting in as a paramedic?
Okay, so right now, don't laugh at me. So right now, my schedule is kind of wicked because of school. So I work only 3 days a week now. I work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I wake up at around 2 a.m. I'm on the road at 3 a.m. I clock in at 4. I work until 8 p.m. So I do 16-hour shifts. Then I get home around 9.
God damn.
And then if I get off on time. And then those today I wake up, I got to study. And then I had class today, I had exams today. And then now I'm here.
And he's a fresh dad, right?
Yes.
This guy has a 1-year-old.
Yeah, shout out to my wife. She is holding it down right now. She's doing everything.
Everybody, so we had a brief little break. So Dar'Ron Harmon actually has his own podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
Oh my goodness. New Block Nerds.
New Block Nerds, and it's mostly virtual, but you're going to be doing it in person at some point. I mean, The guy's busy as hell.
That's the plan.
Super busy. Great at time management, obviously.
Trying to.
Gave him the wrong address on accident, and he still got here. My bad.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm doing all this like freestyling, right? So I learned, I use screen record, and then I screen record, and then I found out that I could edit the screen record on iMovie. And then I just use...
What do you mean you're screen recording?
Yeah, so basically everything off Riverside, right? So I didn't know how to do it at first, and off of Zoom. So I would have it, and use on your Zoom, you can save it to your file. I would screen record off of my iPhone, and then I'll have the actual exact recording onto my thing, and then I'll import an iMovie, and that's how I did all my edits.
Wow.
So I'm just learning how to do all this.
Did it change the quality of the video?
I don't think so.
Okay. Not noticeably.
Yeah, so I don't think, and I did that, and then I just learned how to do YouTube now recently. So that's literally.
Yeah, I just subscribed to you today.
Oh, appreciate it.
I just subscribed to you today.
But you don't care for video games. That's what I'm doing right now.
I know. I'm not a gamer.
That's another thing with me trying to get away from everything I've seen to break away from reality. But I learned all that Zoom stuff, and now I'm doing all that just on the fly between work.
But yeah, so make sure you check out his podcast. What's your YouTube channel? We don't have to wait for the end.
YouTube. New Block Nerds.
New Block Nerds is the podcast, and that's the YouTube. Are you on Spotify too?
We are. They're on Spotify. It's basically comic content. My gaming channel is Grizz Universe. That's just
Grizz
me
Universe.
playing games and stuff like that.
Check out that gamer tag. Catch him on Xbox. Xbox Live, PS3 or PS5.
Yeah, you not play games at all. This is hilarious.
Let me comment on the gaming thing. Let me just comment on it, okay? So you're killing it, all right? So I have no problem with you playing video games.
Yes.
Here is my thought process, because people ask me about this a lot. I don't play video games because, one, I'm not good at them. Okay. I'm not good at video games. Two, it doesn't hold my interest. I can play for maybe 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I get bored. The other thing is, I know people who have responsibilities who are not single guys who just work a job, and can come home and play video games. My problem with video games is people who have kids or who are married or who have responsibilities who neglect those responsibilities to play video games.
That's a problem.
And I'm sure you know people like this as well.
Yeah.
But you obviously don't have the problem because you're doing all this other shit. But there's a lot of gamers, not to stereotype the gamers, mm-hmm. but they lack time management. They'll be up till 2 a.m. and then they're late for work the next day. Or they just don't go. Or they don't have a job. Or they neglect talking to their girlfriend or their wife or their kids. And that's the problem that I have with video games. Mm-hmm. I think, to me, it's a waste of my personal time. Now, I get the idea of getting off work, coming home, or mm-hmm. getting off school, and just relaxing. You don't want to think, so you kind of zone out, and you're in your own world playing video games. I get that. That appeal is cool.
Okay.
But what I do is I watch TV or movies. To me, it's still, you're still doing this. To me, that's not relaxing, because you're still...
Got you. So let me...
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is my counter argument to you about that. There is an immature class of gamers, which I think you're referencing to.
Yeah.
And then there's those who are adults who just need a break from reality because we are doing everything we got to do. We just need a moment just for us, just to reset and make things not so serious. So everything in basically my life is like super intense and super serious, right?
Yeah.
So what me playing video games are is a moment to be like, yo, life is okay. It's not that bad. It's okay. And lock in, and your partner who you choose to be with plays a big impact on how you carry yourself and how you do things. And my wife, she understands that what I need is that. So she plays as well too. So yeah, she's a beast. Okay. She's not as serious as me, but like she'll play basketball. She played basketball in real life, so she'll play 2K with me and stuff like that. But
so are you strictly sports video game player, or do you play like the?
I'm trying to get in everything, but like sports games have always been my appeal because like
they're definitely more fun
because I love sports in real life. So like it's like you kind of feel you're connected to a player. I'm trying to build my own friends. Like, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. We suck. So every time we can win is when we play the video game. Yeah, we won last night though, bro. We won, yes. So it's just one of those things where everybody has their niche, and that was my niche of just breaking away from reality and resetting, get my mind right, so I can realize like, okay, I'm home.
I can relate to that. Yeah. I totally get that. But it's like, to me, and I've talked to some other friends, you're still moving your fingers, but I guess if you do it so much, it's effortless.
Yeah,
like I don't have the things memorized. I have to look. Oh, is that why? I have to actually do that.
So, okay, so everyone's brains. The most beautiful thing in the world is when you actually talk to people, you realize how their brain works. Mm-hmm. So the reason why this comic book also is very important to me. I struggle with reading. I went to Glasgow, like you already know, like if you can easily fall from the cracks. And I felt that as I got older, I wasn't where I needed to be at, right? So, but my brain was really good at memorizing objects or letters, as far as like, I don't have to play PlayStation and look down. I know every key, every chord with certain video games just by memory. I used to do math by saying, hey, what's Michael Vick press by far? That's 11.
Oh, wow.
That's how my head always worked. So when it came to video games and trying to memorize, okay, Mortal Kombat, the code is this, it came kind of easy for me. Okay. Because that's how my brain worked.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. Let's get into your, game shot. Hey, gamers, calm down.
I'm gonna get around.
Full disclosure, I have a video arcade in my basement with 4,000 games.
Okay.
But they're all from like 1975 to maybe 2001.
What's your favorite?
Mario 64 and Miss Pac-Man.
I got Miss Pac-Man in the basement too. Let's go.
I love Miss Pac-Man.
Let's get it.
It's fun. It's a basic game, but it's still very challenging.
My mother-in-law wrecks me, bro. Like, we have like the chalkboard at home with the highest score. I can't top her score, bro. She's a beast.
People used to go hard on Pac-Man. Yeah, I love the Pac-Man. I mean, Miss Pac-Man is great, and that's the. I also like the golf game because you can use the spin and the roller.
So gamers, he doesn't really hate gamers. He just doesn't like people who don't take care of business.
Hey, that's a true statement. That is really what it is. Thank you for clarifying. I don't like it when people, neglect their responsibilities and they're playing video games. That's really what it is. Because I see it too much. And when you see people with potential, and I'm sure we all know somebody who has potential, and you see it kind of wasted because they're, not utilizing their time, it's frustrating, especially if there's someone who constantly asks you for help or for something, and then he's like, dude, I fucking helped you 15 different times and you're still doing the same shit.
Yeah.
You're still doing the same shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You brought the comic book.
I did.
Let's bring them out.
Oh, man, here we go. This is for you, my friend.
Thank you. Will you sign it for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to sign it.
Absolutely, I got you.
Look at this. This is beautiful. It's got like nice packaging. Like, this is official. Can I take it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
You got one for Kira?
Yeah. Do I have one? Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So the thing with the comic book, right? We were talking about how trying to find a space for your own. So this is actually was a joke. It was a real joke. I had friends. Everybody's a group of friends, right? And you ever say like, yo, I want to do something. And everybody's like, well, how do you do it? What are you going on? Marvel has their Avengers, X-Men. DC Comics has their Justice League, right? And we said we want to make our own. But everyone said they didn't know how to do it. So I said as a joke, you know what? I'm going to make it. And then no one's going to have excuses of why they can't do it. So that's how it started.
Really? You were just, now did you have the story in your head when you were?
So, I told you my brain's kind of weird. So I actually, when I drive, I write. So as I'm driving, I have like at least 10 stories I write out written, just from driving. And
I know exactly what you mean. You zone out, you daydream.
Yeah. And then like, I saw I'm doing that. So I drive back and forth like 2 hours basically a day for work on top of my shift. So I just ran stories. Mm. And then when I got hurt in the military, and then when I became a paramedic, I was like, in between calls, you got to be able to switch off, switch on, switch off, switch on. You can be delivering a baby one moment, next thing you know, you're dealing with a stroke.
Delivering babies?
Yeah. Most beautiful but disgusting thing in the world. Women, you guys are amazing. So you got to be able to switch off and on. You got to be able to do different things. And I was finding myself kind of coming home and not being me. So that's how the video game started. And then the comic book thing started when I used to always love comics. I grew up in Dover. Spencer Bazaar, if you don't know where that place is, that's the place you go when you get like 25-cent comic books.
Spencer Bazaar.
Yeah, so I would do that. And then I always had a passion for it. So when it came about my friends, we always like superhero movies, and Marvel have their movies out. Like, if I want to make one right now, how do I do it? Where do I start? So I said, okay, game on. Let's make one. So I was sitting in the back of my truck one day as a medic. It was like a year or so I did this, a year and a half ago. And I decided, like, my favorite animal is a bear or paramedic. Let's just make a paramedic superhero. Mm-hmm. And I wrote I love boxing. So this is round one. This is round one. Yeah. So when I did it, I made it as in like a championship round. So there's actually 15 rounds that are going to come out for this book.
Wow.
So this
I got the first copy.
Yeah, big on the cold cost efficiency. I didn't know what I'm doing, everything else. And then I'm kind of invited to a comic con, basically a venue where other artists come and they create and do different things. I'm not an artist. I'm a storyteller. So I had plenty of stories that I wrote. And then I met this guy named Paul. And Paul was like, I'm an up-and-coming Delaware artist. And he's like, well, Jersey. And he wanted to start doing more. So we connected. And I went home to my wife. I said, yo, I think I want to do this now. It was a joke at first, but I think I really want to do this. And he wrote the first sketch for me. And then I gave him like almost like 50 pages of work. He was like, you wrote this much already? And then he started drawing, and then it took off. And then I didn't know how this was going to be. So when I found a company to print out everything else, Paul helped me with all that stuff because he was already doing it. And then it just went off.
So he was already actually, what's Paul's last name?
Paul Walcott.
Paul Walcott.
He's the man.
He's the artist who did all this.
Yes, he's the living legend.
I mean, this shit is legit. Does he do this by hand?
Yes, bro. I'm trying to tell you, this man does things. He should be in Hollywood.
This is all hand drawn.
No, he did that in digital. He does both. He should be in Hollywood. And then Paul, you listen to this. I'm telling you, every day I push you. You should be in Hollywood. I'm trying to get you now before you go. So talked to him and he did the price and everything else. And like, I found out that the market for this is insane, like for art. So a page can be, depends on who your artist is. It can be from $50 a page to almost $200 a page. You got to find your artist because like, I'm like, okay, what's the best cost efficient way? And right now, everyone wants anime. So there's a black and white theme as far as anime. So we want the black and white theme. And every color that you're going to see in the comic is going to mean something. Okay. So this one is going to be black and white. Okay, let's see what happens. People, you guys have showed me so much love. It's ridiculous. I've sold over 100 copies already.
Wow. Congrats.
So we're going to step it up. Next round comes out top of next year. And you're going to have options. It's going to be a full color one or a black and white one. And it's actually double the amount of pages than this one.
How many pages is this?
This one's probably like 10 pages, I give or take. The next one, Paul told me is what? He already has 25 pages already done.
So when you say that, let me pause you real quick. So when you say that you gave him about 50 pages, because this is only, I imagine this is not 50 pages. So you wrote a really long story almost. Yeah. And so then you're breaking that story up into different rounds. Is that,
yes.
Is that how you're doing it?
So it started off when he's going off like, I'm a person of color. I'm a paramedic. There's no paramedic superheroes. What happens if I love Venom. I was like, what if you had like another out-of-body experience and you were a bear? Like what would happen? Like no one has that care. Like let's do it. I now have written over 200 pages for this story. Wow. So Paul has work. He has a lot of work to do to catch up with me. This whole story, the whole first volume, is already written.
How do you guys work together? So let me ask you this. How do you collaborate on, because I know what it's like to write a bunch of shit and then you're like, man, I can't use all this. Yeah. I gotta break it up into small pieces to put them into a comic book that are easily digestible so people will read it. And that, because if you hand a 10-year-old 50 pages, I'm not going to read it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. So what happened was being a paramedic helped me out. So I didn't have much time between the calls. And having an iPhone, little notepad, I would write between the calls. And then I have like at least 30 different notes already open with different stories as they go. And I was like, okay, cool. This is how the first round's going to end. And the way I write as if you are visually there. Okay. So when I came to a point where I felt like, okay, if I wanted to close the book right now, take a break, that's how I wrote.
Okay. So what do you mean? Give me an example on when you write, like if you're visually there.
So round one, basically you're starting off with the entire world is basically going to chaos. There's a disease going around. There's no cure for it. Other countries are invading other countries trying to get resources because no one can find out what's going on.
My favorite genre, by the way.
Yeah, exactly, right? So you have no idea what's going on, but the animals are not being affected by it. So, of course, every single country has their doctors. They're trying to figure out, how do I get a cure for this? If animals not getting affected by it, there must be a way around it. So eventually you find out there's a Dr. Hooten. Shout out to my Hooten bloodline. That's my mom's maiden name. So I made a character for her, and they have a character in there. Onyx is the brother. He's also defending the line for his actual line in the country to make sure no one invades it. Okay. He gets sick. It's called Ghost V because there is no symptom. He just gets sick until your point you can't move, you can't do anything. She's experimenting with a grizzly right now, another animal I'm not going to tell you. You'll see later in the story. Okay. And she decides, hey, he's about to die. I have no choice. So I decided to write the first round. As you see him coming into the actual hospital, you see her thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I have not tested this serum on anybody else. No one knows I'm really working on this. This is my brother. He can't die. All chances. Boom. The serum is actually injected. And then you see the results. So it's going to stop right there. We're showing that he's actually coming back. And then the next round's going to see what happens after that.
So we don't know what the serum actually did. We just know he's not dead, allegedly. He's not dead. Well, he's not dead. Yeah. But something is going to happen.
Yeah. So, and I'm also big on consequences and also cowboy. I grew up on Westerns. So, like, who's really the hero? Who's really the villain? So it's a back and forth seesaw like vibe. So next round is actually Medic Grizz. Then it goes to Onyx. Then it goes Medic Grizz. And as the story comes together as one, when it's all said and done, you're going to have a different hero than I am. It's based off your perception and your morals.
So what was it like doing the character building?
Oh, it's freaking awesome. Me being in the military helped me a lot with the world building. So the first thing I did, anybody who wants to be a comic book creator, you can do it. I can't draw. I can't draw for nothing.
You hear that, kids?
Yeah, you can do it. All you need is the confidence that I want to write this story and you don't care if anybody reads it.
And your imagination. Right?
Yeah, that's all you freaking need. So I wrote a story where like, okay, there's pyramids in Greece. How do I make that into a story? Okay, that's one character's origin. Bam. Dover. I love Delaware. I love Newark. Okay, let's make a little island off of Delaware.
I love that.
Got that. So just
Fort
like,
Delaware.
yeah, it's like that. So, and then I was like, okay, he's a paramedic. Okay, cool. I love boxing. Shout out to MVJ. I love it. Basically, he's a boxer. He's a kickboxer. Cool. The other guy over here, I love doing taekwondo, love doing capoeira. Your fight style over there. And then you start things you like and you separate them. Next thing you know, you have a different world. And then as you has the world building is going through, you realize, okay, cool. So what's your origin? If your origin is, hey, you like doing, I don't know, community service type stuff.
Yeah.
I got to do more research in your job and then do community service stuff. And then the first story is going to be basically your daily operations. And then it might be, hey, you might like parkour. So you might actually jump the rooftops.
Parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour.
Yeah. So my character you might like ice. So I might say, okay, there's a parkour guy who likes helping the people in the community that has ice powers. Mm-hmm. Boom, go.
Okay.
And then that's how I go. Yeah.
That's how.
So every break
so
I had.
Get that, and then I guess you kind of branches out and spider web it out.
Yeah. So I did. I came to him and I was like, Paul, I got this character. All right, cool. He drew the character for it. And then I said, okay, Paul, I got this character. All right, cool. And then as I kept writing my story, I wrote a story as being a paramedic. The world's getting sick. People find out about the cure. What happens in the world when people find out about a cure? Everybody wants the cure. Mm-hmm. And then everybody has their soldiers. Everybody wants to actually get after it. And then madness happens. The conclusion of Medic Grizz, as a joke to my friends, was the way I wrote the book. And I can't wait till everyone gets to it. You guys have been blessing me so much that I'm actually putting the book out sooner now. When it's all said and done, if you want to make a superhero right now, it makes sense. In my universe, anybody in the world can make a character right now once this book is done. And
I love that, man.
That's why I did it.
So you're basically you're building your own separate world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're also leaving it open for other content creators who want to come in and join the world. And what's the world called?
It's right now it's Ghost V Comics right now.
Ghost V. I was going to answer. So Ghost V is
the original disease that happened that made people actually sick. No one knows what's going on. It's basically ghost virus. They have no idea what's happening. And then there's the ghost virus. The antidote changes the DNA of everybody in the world. And at that point, when that book ends, if you made a superhero right now, that's how it makes sense. You got the Ghost V cure. And then that's how everyone can make
But you have to mass produce it. So is that the...
It's in the story.
Okay. I don't want to give anything away, but
it's
these are the things I start thinking.
Yeah, so it's all in there. Governments evolve. You know how it is. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. And then things get crazy.
You got Pfizer and Moderna in there? Somebody's got to make it.
Yes, it gets a little crazy. Doctor and different specialists, different parts of the world that I always wanted to talk about. And it's really cool. Like Greece is a big part of this one. I have different islands you have. It's all close to like Canada has an island. Like there's different parts that you have your character wherever you're from, like Gotham City's Batman.
Yeah.
You can make your own Batman. Yeah. And it's going to flow, and I can't wait till you guys see it.
I love that. I love that. It's so cool. Maybe I will have a character.
You can, and then boy, how great Paul is, and I think Paul should be in Hollywood
SMP, man.
Yo, bro, let's do it. Let's freaking do it. Paul is a guy where you give him the idea, give him a week, he'll get a sketch, he'll get back to you. You tell me if you like it or not.
So is this Paul's full-time job as an artist?
No, he's a teacher. He's both like
is he an art teacher?
Yeah, he's drawing. He teaches different drawing, but like he wants to do this full time, and I am trying to do everything I possibly can to
get him more clients.
He's that guy, dude.
Yeah,
he's that guy.
Shit.
Yeah, he's that guy. So
and you're saying he's doing this both hand and digital?
Yeah, because he showed me digital. His work is on he was using a small iPad, if I'm correct, before. Now he's got better equipment, but like the things he does on the equipment that he has, like it's absurd. Like
these are the characters, right?
That's some of the characters. Okay. My wife has a character coming.
But these are the two you mentioned?
Yeah, so that's Dr. Hooten and that's Onyx right there. So
and your brother and sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Medic Grizz coming out soon. You're going to have the cover for that one. I can't wait to show you guys. It's out to my EMS lovers. You're going to have ambulance on the back cover. So I can't wait to show you guys that.
This is so cool, man. I mean, I'm sure there's thousands, if not millions, of kids who are fans of obviously the movies now, but even the older people before the movies came out who loved comic books, who loved the TV shows, who always thought about it, but you did it. You thought about it and you executed. You've made a plan, you did the work, and then you executed.
Try it, bro. Trying to be like you.
Congratulations. Seriously. That's a big accomplishment. I mean, it's no easy easy task. You know, along with all the other things that you're kind of juggling, it's not easy. It's not easy, and you should be proud of yourself. I mean, even selling 100, I mean, that's incredible. Because you mean people don't, you know, you're new, you don't know how it's going to do. That's really good. So I saw you went, was it Blue Hen Comics?
So there's 2 different ones. I learned that now too. So okay. Blue Hen Comics is up here. Well, Captain Blue Hen Comics is off of Main Street.
Shout out to Blue Hen Comics.
Yo, you guys are incredible. If I never told y'all to your face, you guys are incredible. They actually pushed me. This guy named Jason there. He pushed me to put this book out.
Okay.
And more, including my wife and everything else. And they actually had a free comic book day, and they invited me there. That's the first day I ever did my actual public announcement of the book.
Wow.
And the amount of love I got there was insane. And then that got things kind of rolling for it's called Blue Hen Comic Con. Delaware has its own Comic Con. That's how much.
Is that the one down Dover?
Yeah, that's how much anime and comics are growing all over the place.
My nephew went. PJ went too.
I saw PJ. Yes, I saw him there. It was pretty cool. So I had my own table there, bro. That was the first.
That's got to be cool. Fucking people coming up to you, looking at your art, your work, the thing that came out of your fucking head is at the table.
It was insane. I had a table. Paul had a table. We're just looking and they're like, wait, y'all two are working together? Y'all trying to grow this? I'm like, this is only like, yes, my wife's next to me. I actually have characters that I dreamed of and thought of on the back of an ambulance truck.
Yeah.
Actually here. And I had people saying, I want to buy your book.
So fucking cool.
So, and I can't wait to show you guys. Oh my goodness. When I tell you this story is insane. Yeah, like it's insane. We made a joke that all we want to do when it's all said and done is to have our own Mortal Kombat game. Like just sit back as old men, let's play a video game of our characters.
Yeah.
The amount of characters going to come from here, and then it got Paul motivated that Paul dropped the book. So
wow.
we're both going back and forth now. Like, oh, you want to do one? Let's go.
When you say drop a book, do you mean drop a comic book?
Yes.
Okay.
Drop a comic book.
Just wanted to confirm.
He has an anime book that he wants to put out too. He hasn't put out yet. Paul, put a book out. He has one right now in his stash that is freaking should be a movie. Okay. It's that freaking good, but he won't put it out because it's not perfect.
And, well, everybody takes their time, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle the feedback and possible criticism of your work?
So,
because there's always going to be somebody who's going to try and say they're going to hate. There might be haters. I mean, with anytime you challenge this, there's going to be people. There's going to be people who are jealous because they didn't go after it.
I'm starting to experience some of that now. Mm-hmm. I never really had to worry about that before. I guess as you said, you get better, stronger, and then people want to come tear you down, which sucks in life, but it's the truth. Yeah. A lot of folks are like, well, it's too short, it's too small. I'm like, well, I had a baby. This is financially, I have to make sure I pay my artists. Also, that's not our main priority of mine. It's my bills are first.
The first fucking one.
So yeah, no, but that's what people say. They'll find anything. And I'm like, but I've had so many positive blessings from this that it doesn't bother me. Like it does. It's okay. Yeah. I got some people that are like praising this and I'm looking forward and being like so positive, man, that I don't care if no one reads it. Like that's how you got to believe in yourself. Like I'm doing this for myself. And if you love it too, I love you for that and I appreciate it and I'm gonna keep on going with it. But if you like your business right now, if no one came and said, I don't care about your business, right? Yeah. As long as you have a self-belief that, hey, this is what I want to do, I'm going to do it. Yeah. That's for anybody, any creator like that, because it's always going to be someone who thinks that their work is better or they think that you're not doing enough.
I agree. And I like that you said that because there really is a lot of people who just, for whatever reason, they think your success is somehow holding them back. Yeah. When really they're holding themselves back. Like you're literally saying, go write the comic book. I'm telling you to go. Why hate on this guy? How can you hate this guy? I mean, he's a fucking paramedic, a veteran. He's a really nice guy. I mean, he writes comic books. Like what? You know what I mean? It's just.
I have people say, well, book's too short. I'm like, that's cool. Next one will be better. Trust me, I got you. Yeah. But I got to start off somewhere and I got to figure this out.
Dude, it's impressive. It's for your first comic. Like, I don't even know where to fucking start.
It's, I'm going to tell you how blessed this has been, bro. I got the Texas, Florida, Ohio, Arkansas, North Carolina, Delaware, Jersey, New York. The book has been purchased from those states.
Wow. So you've actually had to go up, mail it and everything?
Yes, I've actually. So because like I don't have a website or anything yet. So like everything, if you want to buy a book, you can look on my social media. Square Universe.
And if you want to buy one and you don't know how to contact me, I'll get you one.
I appreciate that.
I'll get out the Medic Grizzlies.
Yes.
In fact, I will give out 5 for free. Okay, for the first 5 people who contact me, I'll get you 5 for free.
Oh my gosh, you were amazing, bro. So as the things kept going, I had to actually learn, okay, how do you mail this stuff? What do you do? So I actually had to go to the post office and figure all this stuff out. And now I know the system. And then figure out how to do Amazon. So the next book, God's willing, it will be on Amazon. And
that would be free.
Yeah, so learning how to
They're gonna take their cut. But
but it's one of those things where I have his Ace Blade is a creator on TikTok that I saw, and he had a map, and he's like, his goal was just to sell a book in every single state. And I was like, I want to do that too. So I was like, how do I do it? So the next book will be available, so I'm gonna have a map at home. And hopefully on social media, you guys will follow me. And then you'll see every person that buys a book, I'm actually going to like mark off the map. And
that's cool to show, hey.
Yeah, that's the game plan.
Get someone in every state.
Yeah, that's my end game.
Fuck yeah. That's amazing, dude. It really is amazing. How is the process with the artist? Was there any conflict there? Because it's kind of serious. Obviously, you have a financial benefit and a creative investment as well. Was there arguing? How did that go?
No arguing. The biggest thing is about it's not both our primary jobs. So I may want the book out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He's working, so I can't give you 12 pages in one day. So you got to like check yourself. You got to realize like, okay, I got to pay him. So be in an agreement, and Paul, thank you so much for the agreement we have, where I pay him a certain every single biweekly type thing. And then most artists won't do that. Most artists will be like, I need all the money up front or I'm not doing nothing. That's how some people are. I understand because that's their primary job and that's how they get their funds. But if they're
established.
Yeah, so like we're both trying to work and grow. So if you are in Delaware or Jersey and you're trying to find and create, contact Paul. He is a great guy when it comes down to
how can they find Paul?
Paul, wow, he don't do social media that much anymore.
Social media.
He has one. It's like PM Walcott. He's a shy guy.
Hey, Paul, you got to come out of the shell.
I'm trying to get him.
Market your shit.
Yes, I am trying to get him.
Trying to get paid?
Yes, I'm trying to go, bro. We're trying to get you paid. So we had to make an agreement, and like now, of course, you want timetables to be a certain time. Like I wanted the whole book to be out before the Comic-Con. Yesterday. Yeah, but it didn't work out that way, and I had to realize, okay. So what can we do? So Paul said, I can do a book for you by Christmas. That's the game plan right now. Knock on wood.
You said for the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, and then that's going to be done. And then it's kind of a loose deadline, like time period wise. But then when I get it and everything's good, then I can get it for shipment. And then I'll get the books back and then I'll probably go with it. And then hopefully by late January, early February, it'll be available for people to get.
Wow. What was the process of actually, because you have to find someone to print this shit. Yeah, so and I don't know, do you get a copy written? How does that work?
Yeah, so the whole thing now, there's also a common creator. You like copywriting is so there's a timestamp on Microsoft Word. There's also a timestamp when you email things to yourself and you mail stuff like that. So you get your EIN number, you do stuff like that, and you actually have your own company. And you can mail stuff to yourself, and then that's your copyright, your trademark on when you create that.
So you haven't company for this? You have like
I have a company, Medic. I'm working.
Oh,
yes, I'm working on all that stuff. So I have that part. I also have a CPR one that I did.
Okay.
So you do all that, you self like that, and then the actual creator that actually does the artwork, you have a contract with that person, and then that's your creative art. So Paul is never going to sell any of my art because that's my creative art, and I can never sell Paul's art because that's his creative integrity for his art, he has timestamp for that. So when it goes to moving for books for everything else, the book is published and these companies you go for, like Lulu was one company I use, but now I use Mixin. Mixin has a file of when the book was printed, when it was sent to you, how many copies you've had, all that stuff under your profile. So you always have a creator history of what things are.
Okay.
So the main thing with comic books right now, like this book has been out 2 different versions of 2 different prints. So there's one print of the actual characters, the black one. It's the original first one I put out.
That's what I was expecting to say.
Yeah, I know. I got that one in archive if you need it. But this is the one that only people got this, or people who came to Blue Comic Con. I mean, for the Dover Comic Con.
Oh, like that. Sorry, do I got a rare copy?
Yeah, no, like that one. I never print this one again.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna get all of them. I'll definitely have all of them. By the time it's all done, I'm gonna get them all.
And as the books grow, like the next book is supposed to be Paul, hope you're not teasing you said this, bro. He said it's going to be around 1, 2, and 3 in this next book.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. 1, 2, and 3. Now, would that be different printing?
Yeah, so what you're going to do, we're actually going to make it all in one. So as every round increases, so pretty much picture this book inside of that book with the additional 20-some pages.
Okay, so, but they would then go through it, they could stop and then go to the
and the next one. That's how it's going to be. And the break marks will be the cover art. So you see how that one says round 1. The next one will say round 2, and it'll be Medic Grizz coming out of the ambulance. And then round 3, I don't know what the cover's going to be for that one just yet, but you'll see as the book keeps on progression. It'll end up being a volume when it's all said and done.
Wow. And this is super impressive. What's the other artwork you got over there?
We brought some cover little art for your little sneak peek stuff. So concept of Medic Grizz actually in the middle of a transform actual mode.
Let me see.
This is for you guys.
I love bald guys. I love pictures of bald people.
Yeah.
Look at that. Thank you.
No problem. And then this one right here.
Now this is him mid transformation.
Yeah, so we're teasing with it right now. Like you guys, I've seen the full transmit the whole time, but you guys have not yet. So as you keep on going with the story, you're gonna start seeing little by little, and like every color is gonna be crazy. Like I am gonna put out a black, white, and gold comic, and that's gonna be tell all what's really gonna happen with transformation. But also we have, like I said, I'm building a universe with different characters. So we have one that has. This one is future characters you're going to see.
Wow. Okay, so walk us through this. So this is this Onyx?
Nope, that's actually Medic Grizz.
That's Medic Grizz.
And then you see his bear form.
The bear.
And then you on there.
That's Dr. Hooten.
That's Onyx.
That's Onyx to the top.
Yes.
Okay. And then with the braid or the dreads.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the one to the left is actually my wife's character. She has no idea what's going to happen yet.
Okay. So, what's her name?
It's actually going to be Sergeant May.
Sergeant May. Is your wife military?
No, not at all. Not at all. She could care less about this.
She cares. She cares.
So she's a basketball phenomenal. Like she's a beast. She played basketball at UD for a long time in Del Castle. So,
really?
Yeah, she's a beast.
How did you guys meet?
Rob Scott.
Really?
Yeah,
we went to Rob Scott?
We all played ball at Rob Scott. She had an aunt living there. And like, you know how Rob Scott is. Most people from there either had connections to Chrysler.
RB?
Yeah, that connection to Chrysler or just there's older folks that lived there. And we all played basketball growing up. And that's how we first met.
Okay. Okay. Cool. What street were you guys playing at?
That was
McVeigh.
England. McVeigh, you know, McVeigh's a legendary spot. Yeah.
Shout out to McVeigh.
Yes.
I went there.
Yes.
Man, this is so fucking cool, dude. It really is.
Yeah,
and this is, and you had to get these all kind of printed too. Like, so that's a separate cost, right?
Yeah,
and obviously a separate creative and all that sort of thing as well.
Yes. We're working on getting that actually on jackets and shirts and everything else too. So
badass. But before we wrap it up, I mean, you're giving your wife a lot of credit. I got to know a little bit more. So you met her in Rob Scott playing basketball.
Yes.
When though? I mean, she didn't go to our high school.
No, bro. She went to Del Castle, man.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I kind of wish I went to a Votech school, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, like when you start thinking about life afterwards.
Yeah.
We met, played basketball, and it's crazy because like we never went to school together. No schools ever. Mm-hmm. We've all like kept in contact with each other. Of course, I went away from the military. She played college ball. She's part of the Sweet 16 Delaware team. So like we kept connecting like that, and then eventually it was like, are we going to make this official? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So and then that's when it happened. We've been married now for, oh my gosh, 6 years. Yeah.
Congratulations. When did you get married?
September 3rd, 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Try to get me in trouble.
Yeah, good for you. And you guys have a house together, and you have a son.
Yeah.
Do you think you want any more kids?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I think right now, gotta give her a chance to rest her body. Like females, you guys are creepy.
Oh, I know.
Amazing people.
We have my son and daughter 33 months apart.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
how do you guys manage that?
I'll be honest, just like I give a lot of credit to my wife. I'm here doing this.
Yeah.
You know, I run a business. I got a lot of shit going on. I'm fortunate enough that my wife can be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
You know, she was working. She took her leave. You know, when you have the baby, you get the 3 or 4 months off.
Yeah.
She went back, and then I would come home, and Brittany's sitting on the computer till 11, 12 o'clock at night after Giovanni goes to sleep around 7:30, because she's trying to get her work done.
Yeah.
She's doing work from home. And I'm coming home, she's crying and shit, and I'm like, I can't, you know? So we had to figure out a plan, basically. Instead of playing, I could either pay for daycare,
Yeah.
or Brittany could be up all night and my son's running around. You can't walk. I mean, is your kid walking yet?
Yeah, he's taking steps.
And the more they walk, the more shit they get into, the more chaos, the more danger.
Yes.
You know? Yes. And so the whole thing is like trying to keep your kid alive.
Yeah.
And entertained is like the main goal. Yes. And with her, we just did the math and I'm like, man, if I could just make one more sale or if we just cut this out, you could just be a stay-at-home mom. So that's kind of how we did it.
That's freaking awesome, bro. I'm working on it. So the game plan is once I finish nursing school,
we're going to be rich from the comic book.
God's willing. That'd be the plan. I joke it all the time. I said, one day I'm going to send you home and you're never going to move again. And it's all from me with comics. And all these times I made you go to all these movies that you didn't care for, it was all worth it. But once I finish nursing school, we'll have another one. Yeah. Hey
man, take your time. It's not a rush. I always tell people this. I mean, we're around the same age, but I tell people when they're younger, don't have kids until after you're 30. And I say that you don't have to do it that way. But what I'm saying is you're going to love the kid the same whether you have them when you're 20, 29, 33. You're going to love the kid the same. Yeah. But do you want to be more financially prepared? Yes. You know what I mean? And kind of get all that other stuff out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dar'Ron Harmon, for coming in. Give us all your contact information.
First of all, thank you for even having me. But just Grizz_universe. Just a regular guy trying to have fun.
Regular, but you got the YouTube. What's the YouTube?
I got YouTube. It's Grizz. It's Grizz Universe. That's all it is.
Grizz Universe. You're on Spotify. Your podcast.
New Block Nerds.
Gamer tag.
Grizz.
Grizz. and right now, if someone wants to buy your comic book, what do they got to do? Just DM you?
Just DM me and I will.
On Instagram.
I'll make sure you get the book. Moving forward, it will be access to a lot of people. I'm going to get in Barnes & Noble. That's not the game plan I'm working on.
I think Amazon is where it's at.
Yeah.
Amazon is where it's at. Thank you, Dar'Ron, for coming in. Everyone, check out Dar'Ron Harmon. He is fucking dominating. I mean, this guy is a Air Force veteran. I mean, local guy. We went to Glasgow High School. Okay, the people hate on Glasgow High School.
Yeah.
You can do good things and come out of Glasgow, right? You can do good things and come out of freaking Glasgow High School.
Yes.
He's a veteran. He went to college. He's still going to college. He's a paramedic. He's a comic book writer. This guy's a fucking machine. He's a family man. He's killing. He's a podcaster, YouTuber, gamer. Check him out. Dar'Ron Harmon, thanks for coming, man.
I appreciate it.
Coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.